Phoenix family to One-Footed Phoenix. As the title of this video suggests, I'm really done with all this amputee business. Now all you Phoenix family members out there can breathe a little easier because I'm not quitting on YouTube, and I'm not saying that I necessarily regret my decision to amputate, but I am saying that it's been a struggle to be an amputee, and I think that this is a healthy part of my grieving process to say that I am done being an amputee and that being an amputee itself is what I'm grieving. And I'm grieving the fact that I don't have two legs that work anymore. You know, grief is a weird thing because it's one of those things that sometimes you have to go through multiple times before it really gets better. And I think I'm at that stage of grief where I'm going through things multiple times before they really start to get better. There are days out there where I am more overrun with the grief of losing my leg than others. And some days I'm just really over the whole thing, and I just want to like throw in the towel, be done, say no more, like I will hide in a hole for the rest of my life. Kind of having like a pity party attitude, and then I have to remind myself that I can't really just give up on being an amputee because I already am an amputee, and that's not really ever going to change in my life. But there are days where being an amputee itself is just really frustrating, where like I have to literally assemble myself anytime I want to go out of the house, and I have to either assemble myself or bring a wheelchair anytime I want to leave the house. And even around my house I have to be in a wheelchair most of the time because wearing my prosthetic leg is just painful. And there's days where I'm like, yeah, I'm over the struggle of having to deal with my leg all the time, day in and day out. I'm really over the fact that people always ask me where my prosthetic leg is every time I go out without it, and it's like just getting on my nerves now that people always ask me where my prosthetic leg is or when I'm gonna get one. And it's like, no, I have one, I can't wear it all the time. And people like just don't realize that there are some amputees out there that can't wear a prosthetic leg all the time, all day, because it's like an uncommon thing. That concept of not being able to wear your prosthetic leg all the time is a foreign concept to most people, because most amputees, yes, they can wear their prosthetic leg for most of the day, and then they take it off and then they rest at home, and so people don't really see the resting at home. And then there's me that can only wear the prosthetic leg for like 2 hours at best. And yeah, it's frustrating when people are always like, when are you gonna get your prosthetic? I'm tired of being self-conscious like every time I go out in my wheelchair because my leg is so prominent, and so I get a lot of questions about my leg when it's more prominent, and I seem to get a lot more questions about my leg when I'm in my wheelchair than when I'm in my prosthetic. And unfortunately, that's just kind of the way that the disabled community is. And the way that like people's perceptions are is that unfortunately I just get a lot more questions when I'm in my wheelchair than I do when I'm wearing my prosthetic. And I should say about that not all questions are bad or like a bad thing. I just get a lot more like dumb questions when I'm in my wheelchair, and a lot more like annoying and irritating questions when I'm in my wheelchair. And it's not a bad thing to be curious and to want to ask someone that has a disability about their disability. Just do it in a respectful manner and say like, hey, may I ask you? Or like, are you okay talking about XYZ? Because sometimes people aren't okay talking about it, and sometimes they just don't want to get into it. So just make sure that every time you approach a disabled person about their disability that you're kind and respectful. And kindness and respectful goes a long way in the world, even if you're not asking someone about their disability. So yeah, like I think the world could just benefit from more kindness and respect. Even though there's days where I can be happy about my amputation and I can make fun of the fact that I'm an amputee. There's also, on the other hand, days where I'm just really, really done. And honestly, it's okay to have both kinds of days, where you're having a great day as an amputee and where you're having a bad day as an amputee, because both coincide together and make you a stronger, better person. And so if you can grieve and you can have those days where you're like, all right, like, I'm just gonna be okay with these emotions that I'm feeling today, it's gonna help you get so much farther in your grief journey. There are other moments when I'm really done being an amputee, and that's when my family goes grocery shopping, especially if we have my brother with me, because I almost always have to take crutches in that case because there's just not enough room in the car to bring my wheelchair. And those are moments where it's like, dang, I really miss having 2 legs that work. Another time that I also would grieve the fact that I don't have 2 legs anymore that don't hurt would be that when I want to go play Pokemon Go with like a bunch of my friends, and then like I can't because like of equipment issues, or I can't because my leg is having issues. And so yeah, like in those moments I do miss having 2 legs that aren't in pain all the time, and I do miss being able to do things that I could do before in my old life. And so some of it is just grieving my old life and realizing that even though I'm an amputee, some of my old life I'm never going to be able to get back, because some of those things are always going to be challenges. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you learned something new, or if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you'd smash that subscribe button down below and hit the like button as well. Both of those things really help the algorithm and help more people to be able to see my videos, and it just means a lot to me, so thank you. If you would like to see another One-Footed Phoenix video, click over here, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you, bye!